Let's face it, sometimes real life can really suck. Whether you're working a 9-to-5 job with an annoying boss who doesn't appreciate you, or just struggling to do well in your high school math class, we would all like to escape from reality every once in a while, and video games are a great way to do just that. In fact, many of us would agree that gaming is better than real life. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our content and ring that bell to become part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are 10 ways gaming is better than real life. All problems have a solution. Just like in real life, problems constantly come up in video games. The difference is, in that video games, everything has a solution, but it's not nearly as simple in real life. If there's an evil mad scientist trying to take over the world by creating a bunch of super mutants, you can defeat him and all 200 of his henchmen in a video game. In real life, we just have to sit back and wait for the professionals to take care of them, if it ever happens. Video games direct you towards your goal and often tell you what needs to be done. Sometimes they change it up and you have to shoot hinges off a door before barging in and being the hero. Dun 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 dun. But they'll be glowing, so you don't have to worry. No matter what the case may be, you can take care of the baddies in the video game. As you may already know, the world outside isn't nearly as simple. Most of the big problems out there simply don't have any good solution. There's no way to make everyone happy. Going back to the evil mad scientist, if this scenario happened in real life, what would the best outcome be? People will question how the people in power dealt with the situation, and lives will be lost no matter what. Reality can be such a bummer sometimes, but in the world of video games, everything's just peachy. You are important. Video games just thrive on drama, so it's no surprise that the player character tends to be at the center of the story. The games wouldn't be nearly as fun if you're just an innocent bystander to all the action, which is why player characters tend to be the most important people in that specific game's universe. Who stops the Reapers if Commander Shepard takes the day off? Absolutely nobody, that's who. If Shepard sleeps in, all sentient life is eviscerated from the world. Sorry, guys, I hit snooze one too many times. This gives Shepard's life meaning, and is why we care about him and like him as a character so much. Without Shepard, the universe would have ended. He is the textbook definition of a hero. Shepard is a somebody, while you are most likely a nobody. Okay, that was a little harsh, but let's be honest. There are no Commander Shepards roaming our streets. No one can say they saved the universe from extinction. When you think about it, even the most influential people in history are just a blip on the universe's radar. So don't feel bad about being called a nobody. We're all nobodies. Wait, what? It's so enticing to play video games because, even though it was a virtual world, you made a difference. Okay, things are getting a little deep, but hey, you wanted to know why video games are better than real life, so we're diving into the topic head first. Fast travel. Oh, you need to travel from one side of the map to the other? Yeah, no problem. Just access your map and click on a location to fast travel. Do you really want to fast travel? Yes, I do. Now try doing the same thing in real life. Yeah, it's not possible. But how amazing would it be if you could fast travel in real life? All modes of transportation would be pretty much useless if you have access to such technology. Cars, planes, boats, and trains meet instant teleportation. You want to go on a vacation to London with your significant other? Wait through a 2-minute loading screen and boom, you're in jolly old London, England. You need to do some groceries? Just fast travel your way to your local Walmart. It could change the way we live for the better. How many times in video games are you just about to be attacked by a monster and just fast travel the hell out of there? Pretty often, right? Well, in real life, if you are somewhere dark and spooky and some guy's giving you the stink eye, you can just fast travel to a safer location. Bye! Hopefully, it just doesn't give you a notification saying, cannot fast travel because enemies are nearby. Uh-oh. Also, they would probably have to come up with some mechanism to prevent robbers from fast traveling the second they get their hands on something. But we haven't thought that far ahead yet. Just let us enjoy the thought of fast travel in real life. All problems are external. Hey you! Yeah, we're talking about you sitting there watching this video. You're an awesome person. Aw. But you're probably studying to be the next Stephen Hawking or talented enough to become the next Justin Timberlake. If you put in the effort, you could be fantastic and accomplish anything you dream of. But instead of seizing that greatness, you're watching this video. We assure you there's no locked doors or rooms full of brain-hungry zombies between you and your goals. There's just you. You might be cool enough to become the next president, but it'll have to wait until you're done binge-watching Stranger Things. There really is something oddly fascinating about the Demogorgon, isn't there? Anyway, in the magical land of gaming, you're never lazy, are you? The only thing keeping you away from the solution to all your problems is a locked door, or farming enough in-game currency, or a puzzle, or a few hundred bad guys, whatever. You never have to stop and think about whether you are the cause of these problems because you never are. You didn't lock the door. You didn't give the bad guys a crate of AK-47s. You did, however, cry yourself to sleep on your friend's couch because your mom scared off your significant other. Hey, these things happen. While it would be great to be constantly motivated and not be the source of any of your real-life problems, it would make things boring, wouldn't it? Right and wrong are clearly defined. In the real world, it's almost impossible to make an entirely right choice. If you go through life only making the right choices, you are a video game character, not a human being. Sometimes even a good person could do something they regret or hurt someone they care for deeply. Ask anyone what the worst thing they ever done was, and they'll all give you an answer that makes you think differently about them. With any action you take, you're almost certain to upset somebody, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even yourself. Run into a burning house to save a child and you're come out to find a crazy cat lady demanding to know why you didn't save her cat in the next room. You monster! In real life, good people sometimes do bad things, and even evil organizations can be full of good people. Think of the Nazis for a second. Oh yeah, we're getting deep. There were plenty of German soldiers who did not agree with Hitler's ideology, but they were forced to do something they didn't want to for the good of their country. Well, we all know how that turned out. Luckily, video games make all these decisions super simple. You either make a good decision or a bad decision. There's no in between. You're either a saint or a devil, a maniac hell-bent on destroying the world, or a legendary hero who saved the universe. Well, you get the picture. Companions. What would life be like without a trusty companion? Whether it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, best friend, or family member, we all have someone who will be there for us no matter what. But they're not always there for us. In real life, people have their own lives and won't be willing to follow you around everywhere you go. They won't always agree with every one of your decisions, and they certainly won't join you if you go on a killing rampage. In video games, it's a whole other story. The companions in video games will follow you to the ends of the earth. They'll probably do anything you tell them to do. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter. Lydia is a house Carl and nothing else. Anyway, they're literally the best NPCs you could ask for. If you start firing at a random pedestrian in Grand Theft Auto, so will they. If you tell them to pickpocket a golden ring from a lowly Argonian in Skyrim, you bet they will. The only companions who don't always agree with you are in Fallout 4. If Piper didn't like the way you talked to that guy, it's fine, replace her with a synth. They don't talk back. The only annoying thing about video game companions is when you're being stealthy. They just walk around stepping on every tree branch known to man and yelling out things like, "Wow, it sure is dark in here." Well, so much for being sneaky. You are the good guy. If you haven't noticed already, the protagonist of the typical video game is a good person who's trying to do the right thing. Sure, they may start off by playing for the wrong team, but sooner or later they walk down the path of the righteous. Player characters are framed in the most positive light you could imagine. Also, have you ever noticed player characters never lie? And when they do, it's always for the greater good. Everything they do is in the name of truth and justice. They don't even know what making a wrong decision looks and feels like. Oh, the universes of many video games are such innocent and naive places. It would be so nice if the real world were like that, wouldn't it? In real life, people are only as good as we need to be. We lie when it suits us, we cheat when we need to, we steal when we're forced to do without. We sometimes turn the thermostat up when no one's looking. We'll tell ourselves it's not really harming anybody, but subconsciously, it's harming ourselves. As we lie staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., we can't keep ourselves from the idea that we might not be the hero in our own story. That's just life, people, which is why we love video games so much. They make us feel special in a weird way. You know who's out there to hurt you. Game designers put a ton of effort in making sure you know and can immediately recognize who the bad guys are. They're big scary monsters with 10 rows of teeth shambling at you in the dark. They're hungry wolves leaping out of the forest in search of another meal. They're mercenaries hired to topple your government no matter who or what gets hurt. They're on the red team, the arch nemesis of the blue team. Whoever, quote-unquote, they are, they're nothing like you. In fact, they only exist to bring down all those good and amazing things you stand for. In reality, the people out there to get you are never so obvious about it, are they? We don't have bad people wearing red and good people wearing blue. It's not that simple. Anyone out there could want something from you and you wouldn't even know. Sure, the most likely people to do you harm are those you've known and trusted for years. Let that sink in for a second. But you probably won't know some random guy in an alley who orders you to give him your money. That old gossip 3 cubicles down has been telling your boss how lazy you are behind your back. But you never talk to her. Your mom might try to scare off your significant other whenever they're alone together. Mom, stop doing that. And why? Well, who knows? Some people are sadistic and love to watch you squirm, while others do it for profit. There are some bad people out there, and they're not as easy to spot as in video games. Hard work pays off. Do you remember the time that boss absolutely destroyed you because you rushed through the dungeon too fast? Yeah, of course you do. Everyone's done it. Luckily, you can just go back into the dungeon and grind out some levels before challenging the boss again. The grinding may take hours of killing bats and skeletons, but it's all worth it when you show that boss who's boss and send it back to the Stone Age. Once you got your party to a high enough level, there was never really any doubt you would come out victorious, was there? Well, it's not really the case in real life. You might work your butt off at school, only to get a degree that's pretty much useless in the workforce. Those of you with jobs probably didn't get the promotion or raise you were going for because your boss says the company is tightening its belt and can't put more money into salaries. Oh, or maybe you're overqualified. Anyways, sometimes no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into something, it doesn't work out in the end. And that's just life, baby. They say never to give up on your dreams, but after constant disappointment, it's just the natural progression of things. You can only fail so much before giving up, but in video games, your hard work almost always pays off. Seriously though, don't give up on your dreams no matter how difficult it may seem. We're just being realistic here. And pessimistic, I guess, yeah. Social interactions. There's a stereotype out there about gamers being socially inept. While it's not an accurate representation of all gamers, there are plenty of video game lovers who are not the smoothest people in social situations. Let's be honest, all stereotypes are founded off very skewed truths, so it wouldn't have become one if all gamers had the gift of gab. In real life, it's sometimes hard for us to walk up to that cute girl or boy in our class and introduce ourselves. We don't know what to say and we're scared of getting embarrassed. It's the same thing when you're older and you meet your significant other's parents for the first time. They may ask some uncomfortable questions which leave you speechless without a response in sight. There are normal situations even some socially skilled people might have trouble with. Well, if life was a video game, things would be so much simpler. You would just have to choose between 4 different responses. The nice answer, the mean answer, the hilarious answer, and the risky answer that needs a high speech stat to pull off. You would also be able to continue the conversations if the risky answer doesn't work instead of getting slapped in the face. Ow! Sadly, we don't have these perfect choices, so we just end up rambling and making a fool out of ourselves. If only real life could be like a video game. Wow, there you have it. If only real life was as simple as video games. Do you believe gaming is better than real life? If so, what makes you think that? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all our videos. Thanks for watching.